Hey guys, today I'm going to teach you how to make pumpkin empanadas from scratch. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to get your sugar pumpkin and your kabocha pumpkin, and you're going to oil them and cook them on 400 degrees until they are soft. Next, you're going to prep your dough with 4 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 3 tablespoons of sugar. This is a lot easier to use if you have a stand mixer. If you don't, then no problem, you can just use your hands or a pastry cutter. I'm putting in 12 tablespoons of chilled vegetable lard and 2 tablespoons of chilled butter. First, you're going to mix that in until it becomes a crumbly texture, and then you're going to be adding your wet ingredients, which is your 3/4 cup of chilled water with your 2 beaten egg yolks into the water. First, I'm going to be using low speed in order to get all the butter and lard incorporated into the dough. Then I'm going to switch that to medium to high heat, and I keep tapping the sides to make sure that nothing sticks to the sides and that everything gets incorporated well. You're going to want to see your dough get nice and crumbly. When it's the consistency of cornmeal, then you know that it's done and that you're going to add your wet ingredients. That's what it should look like. Next is the 3/4 cup of water with 2 egg yolks beaten. I'm going to put that on low with my dough hook until it's barely incorporated. It's not going to be too wet and it's not going to be too dry. You want the dough, it's done when you can put some dough in your hand and squeeze it and have it be pliable. Then I'm going to take some olive oil and grease a bowl to put the dough in. You're going to rest your dough in the oiled bowl in the fridge covered for about an hour. And that's the consistency that it should be. Next, I'm going to scoop out my cooked pumpkins and I'm going to put it in a food processor with Chinese 5-spice, nutmeg, and cinnamon, and some salted sea salt. Next, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of pumpkin butter. If you don't have pumpkin butter, you can just use some honey and some sugar, some dark brown sugar, and some regular cane sugar. And this all kind of depends on how sweet you like your pumpkin puree. So it's kind of up to you on how much sugar and how much honey you want to put into the puree. So you're going to mix that until it becomes a thick consistency. You don't want to over mix it because then it will become watery. If it does become too watery, you can still strain it through a cheesecloth or a fine sieve and let all the oil or all of the moisture run out of the puree so it can become thick again. And that is about the consistency that you want. Next, when your dough is ready, you're going to, on a floured cutting board, roll out your dough, and I'm just using my pastry cutter to cut the dough and my rolling pin to roll it out. Now this part I'm going to be using a empanada press. They're pretty easy to find. You can pretty much find them anywhere, especially on Amazon. They have some cheap ones. If you do not have an empanada press, that's okay. You're going to follow the step right here with the circle, but instead of using the empanada press, you're just going to fill the middle of that with the pumpkin filling, and you're going to seal it with a fork instead. There you are, just kind of putting some in there. You do not want to overfill the empanada. If you overfill it, what will happen is you'll either end up splitting open the dough in the back of it, or when you cook it, it'll all kind of just come out of the dough, which is not good. So just keep in mind when you're filling your empanada, look at the size of how big your empanadas are and kind of add no more than, I'd say, a tablespoon, unless you're making your empanadas larger. You want to be able to close your empanadas. That's why you don't want to overfill. So I'm just doing the same thing here. I'm getting my empanada press, which is really easy to use. You just close it and it seals it for you. So I'm just going to show you real fast what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be making an egg wash, which is just 1 egg with some water. And I'm going to be egg washing both sides of the empanada. This will give the dough some flakiness and some really nice golden color on it. It'll also help the sugar I'm about to put on top kind of stick. This is just some brown sugar. I add it for texture and for extra sweetness, but it's optional. Then I cook the empanadas on 375 for about 25 minutes, and that's the final product. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please subscribe. If you're watching this on my Instagram, please follow me at The Sacramento Chef. Thank you guys so much for watching.